Hello, I'm David Breeden. I'm the senior minister at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis. We're a humanist congregation, and this is a humanist perspective on theological questions. Last week, I started talking about antinomianism. Anti-Nomi-What? Well, yeah, it has an interesting pedigree. The word is Greek, anti, against, and nomos, law, against law. Martin Luther coined the term in 1539 when he was accused of being against the Ten Commandments. And he wrote a book saying he was against antinomians. He was denying that charge. Now, antinomianism is both religious and secular. And last week I was talking about the core and beginning of the idea. But antinomianism, according to Wikipedia, is any view which rejects laws or legalism and argues against moral, religious, or social norms, or is at least considered to do so. And again, that term has both religious and secular meanings. Okay, you can even find yourself antinomian disputations for dummies. And I'm going to be sharing one with you today. It starts in the English Civil War of 1642-1648, when the parliamentarians, often known as the Roundheads, versus the Royalists, the Cavaliers. This was a disputation between the Puritans of their day, who were the radical leftist of their day. They're going to come to the U.S. eventually here and form up the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And this is during that time period when the Puritans are attempting to get free. And the English Civil War was part of that movement. Well, one of the elements was the New Model Army. The New Model Army of 1645, in which the Roundheads, those are the Puritan forces, the parliamentarian forces, and those are the kind of normal people. And then we have this radical fringe over on the left that we call the levelers. Now, each New Model Army regiment had two spokesmen called agitators. What else would you want to call the spokesman for your regiment, after all? But this kind of reveals the way in which all kinds of ideas that had been suppressed before the war by the royal forces, suddenly these explode into all of these new ideas. And so we get these people in the regiments who can speak their mind. That's what they're all about. And we'll call them agitators. Agitators tended to be part of a populist political movement of the time called levelers. Levelers. Now, what did levelers want? They wanted popular sovereignty. They wanted extended suffrage. They wanted equality before the law, and they wanted religious tolerance. Popular sovereignty would be the kind of government that the United States now has. And as a matter of fact, we can draw a fairly straight line from these very radical parts of the Puritan Army up to the ideas of the United States Constitution. They wanted to extend suffrage. That would be more people able to vote. Equality before the law. Everybody should be equal before the law. And religious tolerance, because yes, the Puritans had been suppressed, and that was one of the things this war is about. But even within the Puritans, that we don't have a common core of understanding of just what religion means. We'll be seeing this week and also next week, because there's some very interesting religious movements that came out of that time period. Here we have an illustration of those mean old royalist forces putting babies on pikes and killing children and that kind of thing. Aren't they terrible? As this is about as lurid as they could get in the kind of pamphleteering of the day. But really, the printed pamphlet was the absolute new technology of the time, and really got the word out about all kinds of fringe ideas. A leveler leader was named John Lilburn. He was often called Freeborn John, and he coined the term Freeborn Rights. And those are rights every human being is born with. And here's the antinomianism. No, the king is not granting us our liberties. We were born with those liberties already. We don't need human law to give us that. We've got it. And if we are being denied it, that is where the human law is coming in, and that must be stopped. Well, you know how that goes directly into that Declaration of Independence we all know, because we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. And right there, that is a straight line from the radical leveler ideas into the US revolutionary period. But as a matter of fact, the New Model Army, the Roundheads, began to purge the levelers. They were just getting a little bit too out of control. These are contemporary photos commemorating levelers who were executed by the Cromwellian army to get that radical idea, that antinomian idea, out of the ranks. And we're going to start talking about how this is human law, by golly. Yes, it's blessed by God, but human beings are going to say who gets what rights. And you're not going to be able to do this kind of antinomian thing here. A later true leveler, and I'll be talking about them on Thursday, Gerard Winstanley, wrote this: was the earth made to preserve a few covetous, proud men to live at ease, or was it made to preserve all her children? And that's one of the arguments that the levelers will have is, didn't God make us all equal? And then it was human society that began to create these massive differences in wealth and poverty, and taking the land away from freeborn citizens. That's the idea. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on Thursday. Thanks for joining me today for Coffee and Wisdom. If you've got questions or comments, write to me, minister@firstunitarian.org. Also, we have a live Zoom chat on Fridays that you can join in, and I would be very happy to send you the link. Just email me, minister@firstunitarian.org. I'll see you on Thursday.